All right, thank you very much. Appreciate it. I want to express our nation's deepest condolences and most heartfelt sympathies to the family of George Floyd. Terrible event, terrible, terrible thing that happened. I've asked that the Department of Justice expedite the federal investigation into his death and do it immediately, do it as quickly as absolutely possible. It's a local situation, but we're also making it into a federal situation, and it's a terrible thing. We all saw what we saw, and it's very hard to even conceive of anything other than what we did see. Should never happen, should never be allowed to happen, a thing like that. But we're determined that justice be served. And I spoke to members of the family, terrific people, and we'll be reporting as time goes by. We think that we also have to make the statement, and it's very important that we have peaceful protesters and support the rights for peaceful protesters. We can't allow a situation like happened in Minneapolis to descend further into lawless anarchy and chaos, and we understand that very well. It's very important, I believe, to the family, to everybody, that the memory of George Floyd be a perfect memory. Let it be a perfect memory. The looters should not be allowed to drown out the voices of so many peaceful protesters. They hurt so badly what is happening, and it's so bad for the state and for that great city. So we are working very closely with the Justice Department. We're working with local law enforcement. We're working with everybody, and we're speaking with the family. And hopefully everything can be fairly taken care of. I understand the hurt. I understand the pain. People have really been through a lot. The family of George is entitled to justice, and the people of Minnesota are entitled to live in safety. Law and order will prevail. The Americans will honor the memory of George and the Floyd family. It's very important to us. It's very important to me to see that everything is taken care of properly. It's a horrible, horrible situation. And so we'll be reporting back in due course and as quickly as possible. I'm pleased to welcome American industry leaders to the White House as we continue to safely reopen America. We're glad to be joined by Jeff Bellotti of Wyndham Hotel and Resorts. Wyndham Hotels have been really terrific company over the years. Brian Goldner of Hasbro, Dave Hoffman of Dunkin' Brands, Gary Kelly of Southwest Airlines. Really good jobs they've done. Rodney McMullen of Kroger. Thanks, Rodney. Oscar Munoz, United. Thank you, Oscar. United Airlines. Brad Smith of Microsoft. That stock has done very well, I will say. Great job, great job. Sonia Sengal of Gap. And thank you very much. Also with us are Secretary of Treasury Steve Mnuchin and Secretary of Labor Gene Scalia. Our nation continues to mourn for the lives claimed by the virus and grieve for the families who have lost loved ones. We continue to battle the invisible enemy. We're directing the full resources and support of the federal government to safeguard high-risk populations, especially in nursing homes. We've been a very powerful strategy on nursing homes for quite a while. The best strategy for public health is to aggressively protect the most vulnerable while allowing younger and healthier Americans to work safely. Nationwide hospitalizations, new cases, and deaths are all declining. We're tracking cases and hospitalizations daily, and states are demonstrating their ability to rapidly identify and contain new outbreaks. Our testing is the best in the world. We've now surpassed 15 million tests, which is much more than any other country. by a factor of many times. We've completed over 15 million, and that is, I think we can say that's a record by a lot. And we're going to give you a big report on testing tomorrow. We have new tests coming out that are above and beyond anything that anybody would have thought even possible just a couple of months ago. In many places, we've had more tests available than people seeking them. Florida and others have said that they have testing and they don't have enough people to take the test. So we've come a long way. We started with an empty cupboard. We didn't have a lot that we inherited, and we are, I think really they've stepped up to the plate on ventilators, on tests, and on equipment and gowns and everything else, gloves. If you look at masks, everybody has masks now. To maintain the health and safety of our society, we must also maintain the health of our economy. There's a reason why our nation's life expectancy is closely correlated with economic development. A never-ending shutdown would increase, not reduce, the total loss of life in the United States while failing to focus resources on the most vulnerable. We've made a lot of progress in terms of the invisible enemy. A lot of progress. A lot of things have happened that have taught us a lot. Nobody's ever seen anything like this, and there certainly hasn't been anything like this since over 100 years, 1917. I want to thank all of these great companies for being here and representing their company and themselves and our country so well. We're going to be having a discussion with the companies as to suggestions they have. We think we're going to have a very strong opening, which has just started, really. We had the greatest economy in history of any country, not just ours. The greatest in history. We had the best employment numbers that we've ever had. We've had the best numbers in every way, whether it's the biggest tax cuts, the greatest regulation cuts of any president. Nobody's even come close. We've rebuilt our military. We have the strongest military we've ever had. New equipment coming in all the time. A lot of it already arrived. And very importantly, all made in the USA. And so many other things. You look at what we've done for the vets with choice and accountability. The combination, they weren't able to get that done for over 40 years, and we got them both approved. Right to try, got it approved. We've done so much, and then we had to turn it all off in order to be in a position where we are right now. Numbers were estimated to be 2 million deaths, 1.5 million deaths, maybe 1 million, but it could have been over 2 million and maybe substantially over. Unfortunately, one is too many. It should have been stopped. It could have been stopped in China. It should have been stopped in China, but it didn't stop. And the world got infected, and it's very sad thing. But we turned off the greatest economy ever, and we turned it off very quickly, very rapidly. We banned people coming in from China early, very early. In fact, most people said, don't do it. Even a month later, they were saying, you shouldn't have done it. And we turned out to be right. But we have now a long way to go. But we're getting very good early numbers, as everyone knows. The stock market has been doing very well because people have a lot of confidence. We're doing very well on therapeutics. We're doing very well on vaccines. I think we're going to have some very good answers soon. And we're set up logistically with our military. Our military is set to move and to act so that when, I think I can say when we have that vaccine, I think I can say it with pretty good surety based on what we're seeing, that rather than taking long periods of time and bringing it out slowly, we're able to bring it out very, very quickly. So we have a general in charge of logistics. That's what he does, and he's supposed to be the best, usually moving soldiers and moving various things for other reasons, but now he's going to be moving vaccines or therapeutics, depending on what ultimately ends up. But we're doing very well on vaccines. We're doing very, very well on therapeutics. And maybe I could use the word cure as opposed to purely therapeutic. So I want to thank everybody for being here. We have a lot of positive things to report. You see some of the numbers coming out with some of the states that have been opened, and some of the numbers have been really, really beyond expectation. So we're very happy.